now.
Super here.
Let's see if that plays out. It says we're live. Yes. All right. We're live. All right. No, I'm really glad you're joining us for this one, Pirate. I was really hoping Breakfast would join us for this one, but he had to do Institute stuff.
Because Mithra and I are insufficient.
It's more, I know Breakfast delved deeper into this than most.
Insufficient.
Anyway, all right, I will get us started. Back when I was living at a location called Southridge, I saw my roommate, one Tyler, playing a game where he was launching a hedgehog into space. The game was creatively called Hedgehog Launch, and I thought it looked kind of fun. So I started playing it. And then I looked up and I'd wasted like 4 hours playing a game where you're trying to launch a hedgehog into space. Because the internet was awesome. And there were a lot of small time teams just making little games out there for everyone to play. But the thing that really launched Hedgehog Launch deeper into my mind was the music that went along with it. It had a song called The Weight of Time that would play whenever you launched your hedgehog. And I shall play this song now. Anyway, this is episode 44 of I Think We Overleveled, where we're talking about the rise, the fall, and the rise again of Flash gaming. Everyone, how's it going?
It's going.
Did anyone else here play Hedgehog Launch?
I remember you guys playing this, actually, but I never played it myself.
It looks familiar, but I don't think I ever actually played it.
I've played games that are similar, but no, never this
Same.
one.
Games that are similar, but not this specific.
This is dumb because it has the framing device of you are the
home run mode in Smash Brothers.
Well, basically, yeah. But you're the leader of I think it was Minovian, I think it was the name of the made-up country space program, and you're tasked with launching their state mascot, the hedgehog, into space, but you're only given $50 with which to work with. And so there's a progression system where you upgrade your tech.
Sounds like a worthy venture.
It is. It's a very worthy venture. I think this game
It's how NASA was born. No.
Yeah. Yeah, this is exactly what they did. They started off with slingshots.
I missed that part of the documentary.
I thought the part where the Nazis joined up was when we started going, but...
Okay, let's not mention the World War II bad guys at the beginning of videos and get me demonetized. Unfortunately, that is the way that happens.
Didn't know that word. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, that word, yeah, good work. See, I like what you did there. That was a good save. No, that we have to avoid words like that within the first hour anyway. Because YouTube doesn't care what happens after the first hour. Their bots kind of just look the other way, strangely. But I don't know. I loved this game. The fact that it had a little progression system built into it, and you could get your hedgehog goggles if you wanted to. It was just
Isn't that what everyone really wants?
It is.
Goggles for their hedgehogs.
I mean, it's what I want. My hedgehog is in desperate need of goggles. They don't do anything, but they make your hedgehog look cooler.
You're saying the goggles do nothing?
Yes. See? Looks stylish.
Wow, that's a reference I haven't heard in a long time, Pirate.
Well, that's why we're here.
Indeed. No, so I don't know. This era of gaming is a very interesting micro era of gaming, I'd almost call it, because Era is the wrong word. It was a group of people who were just sort of off doing their own thing. And it was a ton of fun because there was a lot of creativity going on, because there's a bunch of, probably 1 or 2 person teams usually. And they're just coming up with their own wacky ideas that sometimes coalesce into something that's fun, sometimes not. And it started to get involved with some of them.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it's kind of like, you have a lot of these game developers start off just dinking around to make something. And that's kind of where a lot of these came from. Flash was it was very accessible that way.
Yeah. I mean, this is the same era of a lot of the Flash animators as well, which with Newgrounds, obviously a lot of overlap between the two groups. But the thing that was interesting about it was sort of like where the indie people could just sort of get together, and due to the nature of the internet and the existence of Newgrounds, there's a guaranteed chance of there is an audience here, whether or not what I make will speak to that audience. But
a guaranteed chance.
Well, so because normally, think if you wanted to get a game out there in, let's say, even the late 90s, before Newgrounds, you would have to develop a whole game. You have to go through a process of getting someone like a Nintendo or a Sega to let you publish it on their not platform in the way we call it now, but on their system. You'd have to get people to make a physical version, but on Newgrounds, you could just publish it. And there's people there looking to play games. That's, there's not much else to do, and you have no control what happens once you hit that publish button. But just like YouTube and every other social media website, there is an audience there. It's just whether or not you will be able to reach them.
You just need to get the upvotes.
Exactly. And you never know what would hit and what wouldn't.
Well, and some people would get upset when something hit that they weren't expecting.
Yes, and we will end tonight with a very specific one. But no, I just remember Ego Raptor, who was a popular Flash animator back in the day, famous for riding on cars. Yeah, and so, but he was a Flash animator, and he was on an episode of this. It's a Corridor Crew. Some people might know about them. They go through special effects and shows, but they've also brought in other people. So they brought him in for an episode to talk about Flash animation. And it was a very interesting episode, very different from what they normally do. And one of the things he talked about was his first video that went viral. He sort of just published it and thinking oh, this is kind of funny. I think I'm kind of proud of it. I think people will enjoy it. And then he went to school or whatever, and he came back and he was the most viral thing of the day. And he just sort of what?
What happened?
And he just tried to figure it out. And that's how Newgrounds was, because you just wouldn't know what would hit the zeitgeist of the day.
Yeah, it wasn't quite as codified as YouTube and modern social media.
Yeah, well, and I actually think that's kind of to its strength, just because it was just on the upvote system.
Oh no, I agree.
There were no guardrails, and it's just going to be just go, go, go.
Yeah, no real recommendation algorithm. I mean, it's pretty much just
Nope.
Whoever gets the most votes.
No guardrails is a good way to put it, because there's a lot of weird stuff that came out of the Flash
yes,
era.
there was.
Very
Think
questionable content.
You could think it, and you could make it, you could put it out there, and so long as it didn't fall under, relatively speaking, the few guidelines that these websites did exist.
But I don't know. That's also part of the charm. It was the Wild West.
Yep.
Yeah, when we talk about edgy media today, I think Newgrounds is definitely, in Flash games in general, but Newgrounds in particular, is definitely edgy in terms of pushing on the edge of what's even like acceptable or allowed. Could be a definition of that.
Well, and the thing that was interesting about it being edgy, is because a lot of it was being fueled by much younger creators.
Yes.
Because these aren't professionals. These are people figuring out how Flash works and figuring even like, this is the thing. Adobe didn't know what Flash could do. Adobe created the tools, but it was all these creators that started figuring out little things you could do with it that Adobe didn't, I wouldn't say didn't intend, but they hadn't planned on it. But they figured, yeah, you put a set of tools in front of people and you're just like, oh, I made this so you can do that and this so you could do that. And then it's like, well, wait, if we use these two things at the same time with this, and they're suddenly in awe of like, oh, wow, I didn't know you could do that with keyframes. And you end up with a hedgehog flying in space. Or
basically, what happens is you take this new tool that you've made that you don't even know the capabilities of, and then you hand it to people who have way too much time on their hands and very few inhibitions.
Yes.
You end up with some really interesting results.
Well, and that was especially the fact that it was so young. That was talking about having the free time on their hands. Mm-hmm. And because it was such a collaborative community as well.
Well, it's like today, you'll see some insane builds on like Minecraft and stuff like that. It's the same demographic, just a generation later.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. I didn't think about it in those terms, but yeah. But no, this was the first one I remember really playing. So, anyone want to talk about one they want? I have a couple here.
I've got one that I could throw out. So I remember back in the day. This is probably 2002 or so. 2001,
early days. Yeah.
2001, 2002, and I came across a website. I think it was just called Board Games, BORED games.com.
Okay.
And it's just all these just stupid, like, I didn't realize this is what they were, that they were Flash games or anything, but looking back, that's absolutely what they were. Okay, and this is one I'm not going to post a video because there's no way I am searching for the title of this game. It's called Slap the Monkey. And basically there's this, you know those blow up clown dolls? Like the boxing ones?
Like the ones you box? Okay.
Yeah. So it's basically like a monkey version of one of those. And all you do is you click and you move the mouse across it. And depending on how fast you move the mouse, it records the speed. And depending on how fast it is, the little blow up doll responds in a certain way. If you do it too slow, it'll just sort of bounce. If you do it hard, it'll fly off the screen. And if you do it really hard, suddenly this music cue will start playing, and it's just like, what the heck was this? But it's basically sort of one of those, let's just test how quickly you can move the mouse.
I have some good news and some bad news about this. Baggins.
Okay.
Good news, I found it on YouTube. Of
course you did.
Bad news, it wasn't called Slap the Monkey.
The version I was.
Well, this is what came up, and this fits your description.
That's right. It wasn't Slap the Monkey. I forgot about that. You're right.
Naughty Baggins.
Hey, a friend of mine showed it to me. I did not even find this one on my own.
What were you searching for, sir?
I was searching for nothing.
Not on my good Christian Flash games. I just remember,
like, there's just something satisfying about when it hits and that music cue starts playing. I was just like, I don't know why, but this is a thing that's happened.
No, that's a good point, is that a lot of these things you didn't necessarily search for them. You just went to the website that hosted all these things, and then you just scrolled through whatever was there.
What is on the top? Yeah, what is popular right now? And apparently that one was.
Well, this is also popular.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Peasant's Quest was a was a great classic. If you've played if you've seen any Homestar Runner familiar with Strong Bad, this was a game that was mentioned in Strong Bad, and then they decided to make it, and you could play it.
This is actually the second game in this specific series that was released, because the first was Trogdor.
Yeah, they've got a few.
It's amazing.
Well, before we go into Peasant's Quest itself, was the fact that it got a trailer.
Yes, it did. A live action trailer.
And this was a big deal back in the day. They dropped it Super Bowl Sunday. And I'd have to go back and find the video where the guy was talking about the number of downloads it got. But basically, back in the day, kids, there was a time before YouTube. It did exist. And so in order to watch this, you had to physically download this video to your computer. And the size of this video was so big relative to the time, which now it's,
It's a
nothing.
piddling amount.
But back in the day, it would have been huge. And the fact that there's a live action trailer for this Flash game.
Okay, I actually don't think I saw this live action trailer. I just saw the in-game one.
It's new for me too.
This is a live action version of, because this is a trailer for the movie, I believe. Which the movie wasn't a real thing, but they made a trailer for the movie based on the game.
Wow. Because I just remember when there was the Strong Bad, in Flash style commercial, and that's where it actually taught you some of the things you need to know for the game, like to know to throw baby, for example.
And that actually shows up in this live action trailer.
It does? God.
Right here. He says, throw baby. And he calls.
Wait, he says it out loud even?
Yes.
Oh my
He
gosh.
shouts it.
That's hilarious.
No, so there was a whole buildup to Peasant's Quest.
Well, if we're talking Flash, Homestar is just a whole Flash episode in itself.
Yeah. But Homestar Runner was the king of Flash.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And they're back.
Yes.
And they are back with a Flash emulator.
Well, so that's we'll talk about that on the Rise Again part, but yeah, thanks to Ruffle, I think it's called, is the Flash emulator.
Maybe.
I believe it's called. I think Ruffle is it. And that was the thing when everyone's like, "Oh, they're all going to go away. We're never going to get it." And I just sort of like, I have a feeling the internet's going to do its internet thing and find a way.
It's been a while. Like it took a while to get there still.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, Ruffle was up like a month later. Like it wasn't that long.
Well, I mean, for Homestar at least.
For Homestar it was, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna Homestar. It's been years.
Sorry, I thought you were talking about Flash. No, but anyway, let's pull up Peasant's Quest,
because Homestar found a new home, semi-home on YouTube after a little while.
Yeah,
I do love that their YouTube channel is all spelled out homestarrunner.com, like DOTCOM.
It's .net.
No, homestarrunner.net is .com.
It's .com.
Which it's again hard to explain. Homestar Runner's humor by itself is so unique. I don't really know how to describe it other than like
Homestar Runner's humor kind of forged the sense of humor of an entire generation.
Yeah, there's a lot of truth to that.
And it was a narrow generation. I mean, it was like 3 or 4 years, I think, that really was hitting people.
Well, nothing else was, because the thing that Homestar Runner was that nothing else of its era was consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Where the quality stayed about the same, and they released once per week.
Once a week, yes.
And that was just not something anyone else was able to do, especially with Flash animation, because it wasn't easy.
They also introduced audience participation very early because they had strong bad emails, and
Which, let's
they
be honest,
actually.
strong bad emails was 90% of
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
the emails was the main draw.
But what I'm saying is they were actually responding to actual emails from viewers.
Yeah, yes.
And everyone had the dream that it would be their email that would get answered.
And it was never answered in the way you expected
No.
they would.
Oh, no.
Like the Trogdor thing. Like if you were the one that spawned Trogdor, that would have been just such a feather in your cap.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. I couldn't even imagine that.
No, there's just so many random things with Speemails. But yeah, they made an entire adventure game.
Yeah, and it plays like King's Quest, and it's a total homage to King's Quest, but just the humor of it is just perfect. And it's so in line with all of the lore of Strong Bad Emails, between not just Trogdor, but just the way he types on his computer, the level of computer he has, the way he talked about it. It's like everything was so it wasn't just consistent in how it released, but like its style and its lore, because it's almost like it had its own point in time. Like Homestar Runner had its own level of technology with Strong Bad's laptops, his computers, and this fit in there just perfect.
It was definitely calling out to a very specific generation.
I remember them playing Speemails on the screens of our bookstore at our college.
In the bookstore, wow.
Oh yeah.
No, because that's the other thing. It was a very strangely wholesome.
It was very clean, so they could show it anywhere.
Oh yeah.
Meanwhile, the guy's saying crapfully, just the stupidity of it all. Because that's the thing. It's simultaneously really creative, but also really lowbrow humor.
Dangeresque 2.
The Homestar game I played the most was the one with the cheat and the rolling tire. I can't remember what it was called.
Oh, yeah.
Some Cross, maybe? I mean,
Oxum Cross.
Oxum Cross.
I'll see if I can find it.
Wait, I'm just looking at our list. There was a Stinko Man game, not just...
Oh, yeah.
Stinko Man 20XDX.
I mean, 20XD6. I remember the video. I watched it many times.
There were a handful of games that they had. I mean, some of them are real simple, but yeah.
And I still, whenever I see anything that's like 20X whatever, because there is an actual game that's it's a roguelite Mega Man X game called 20XDX. I don't call it 20XX.
20XD6.
I call it 20XDX because of 20XD6 from Stinko Man. But man, I
think I found Oxum Cross. And if you're listening to this and being like, Oxum Cross, why are you saying it like that? Are you having a stroke? No, I'm not. It's it's Oxum Cross.
Well, it's because they actually created Videlectrix, which has released actual games you can purchase.
Oxum Cross 98.
That are
all the music is just taking me back.
This is oddly reminiscent of Captain Novolin.
Yes, it is.
Makes me think of you don't have internet in Chrome.
I don't know where the gas is going.
Don't ask questions.
It's the cheat.
I don't smell you anymore.
I can't spell you.
But is this game involved? No. But as a random throw-in for a Speemail?
Yeah, this is...
I played more than I care to admit at this game.
Oh, try again.
The chort. Here, the chort, have a trophy. Here, the chort, have another trophy.
But
Three
that's the
trophies.
thing.
Good
Good
jorb. Good jorb.
That's the other thing that it's just. This is just such a random thing to throw in. But they weren't the only ones. I forgot. I'm trying to find it. I think this isn't it. So, does anyone remember that Cartoon Network actually had Flash games as like promotional material for their cartoons?
For some of their shows.
That sounds familiar, actually.
It
Yeah.
sounds like something they would do. I don't know if I ever tried any.
I don't
They
think
made
I played
a
any.
fighting game for Teen Titans, which I was
Really?
big. I was big into Teen Titans back.
Wait,
in the
was
day.
that officially Cartoon Network?
Yes, this
'Cause
was
I
on.
remember playing
Wow,
This-
look at
it.
this art. I think it looks pretty.
This was on their website because I remember
Wow.
watching the show and they had an ad for it to try and get you to go to the website. Which, you know, I don't understand the way you're making money with that. But
Every channel wanted you to go to their website.
I could not figure out what going to the website got you. Because this was also pre like website monetization.
Yeah, like there weren't ads back then.
Yeah,
really.
you
Well,
don't know
no,
if
there
they
were
make
some on
money
the
on-
side. I guess there were
Yeah.
banners. There were ad banners on the side, but that was about it.
Maybe it was just more promotional tie-ins to get people to watch the show. I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. All I know was I played this and I beat it. And that's all that matters. I won. But I also this is accurate. I do remember the loading time for this being insane.
Oh my goodness, yeah. I'm just sitting
Wow.
here like that was a solid like 10 plus seconds there.
Well, yeah, but
Just
like
for a simple flash battle.
but think of like 2002 Flash in internet, and look at like this is actually quite a big image to have for a background,
This is
and it moves
pretty
smooth.
smooth. Yeah, it's not bad.
No, and I remember it being smooth, so the load time clearly was doing something to make it so it would be smooth. But it's just I didn't get it. It was just one of those things where I was like, I played it and I'm like, oh, that was fun. Why does this exist? And that was the big thing I needed to understand, is I didn't understand why it existed. And I still don't. I can't figure out what it was that made it so that this was a viable thing, that some CEO would be like, we need Flash games. And then they pound the table for it.
Well, I mean, it lasted for a long time, like cartoons making websites with Flash games, because like Disney had their website full of Flash games. They even had a game for Gravity Falls, and that was way more recent than
Heck,
than
even
this.
like PBS Kids programming did.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know this.
Well, I mean, like they still got stuff, but
Oh yeah, pbskids.com. Yeah. Yeah, no, my kids would play on that too. I don't
like,
think that was
it's-
Flash, but
it's not stuff. Yeah, it's not stuff I played. I mean, and they're all like like browser, like iPad, Android kind of games.
Yeah, I didn't know about that, but I knew about the Cartoon Network ones. And what was this one called again? I can't remember. Battle Blitz. That's what it's
Battle
called.
Blitz, I think. Yeah.
But yeah, no, my kids definitely also played the Gravity Falls one. And yes, Mabel had a grappling hook in it.
Oh, of course. She has to have a grappling hook.
As is right and proper.
Yep.
But yeah, so it wasn't just Newgrounds. We were also having stuff on Strong Bed. We were also having stuff on Cartoon Network and Disney. And
I mean, one of the first Flash games I remember playing. I don't even remember how I found out about it, but it happened like it was early 2002. It was called Yo Mama Osama, and basically all you did was like it was like a little like shooting ground where like little little JPEGs of Osama bin Laden would pop up, and you'd shoot him. That was pretty much all there was to it.
Yeah, in the post 9/11
Yeah.
world, there was a lot of that.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh.
it
Well,
was
that-
it was fun. I played it.
Oh goodness, I even remember like there was a Flash animation set to music where they were singing about, hunting down that person.
Oh.
Deo.
Yes.
Deo.
Yeah,
Deo.
Deo, make you payo. You remember it? Yeah. That
Oh, yeah.
was. Yeah. That. Oh my goodness.
Very
that was
specific.
Flash.
Again,
Flash animations. It's a whole
Oh,
Well,
Flash animations. There's all sorts of additional
like
stories.
basically the end of the world. That one.
But yeah.
Did y'all remember combo number 5?
no.
An Ultimate Showdown of Ultimate Destiny.
Oh
that
my
one,
gosh.
everyone
yes.
remembers.
Ultimate Showdown of Ultimate Destiny. That one's classic. Oh my goodness.
But no, I don't know, all these little games. They weren't all on Newgrounds.
Well, there was a lot of them had like their own
That's-
website. Like,
There was another like Congregate, I think. Was
When-
another one.
well, like for example,
Congregate, that's right.
Yeah,
I
with the
forgot about
K,
that.
yeah.
What was it? Black
When-
Sheep or
well, when Baggins was,
No Sheep, I think.
something sheep?
did you ever play Poke the Bunny?
Oh yes.
It's just
It's,
a little.
it's a dumb, stupid,
It's a dumb,
quick
stupid,
little game.
quick little game. Its own website, but you just have a button and it pokes the bunny, and if you push it fast enough, the bunny turns around and bites you. It's just a fun little
Oh,
stupid
yes,
thing.
yes. I remember this now.
I do
Yeah.
not. This one escaped me.
I mean, it's just like the Spank the Monkey, where it's it's kind of silly and short and nothing. But I mean, that's what a lot of these games were.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of questionable searches, though. Don't know why we're
Yeah,
poking
it's
bunnies.
the kind of thing. It's like you wouldn't look for these games, but when they showed up, you'd there's this morbid curiosity of what is this?
No, the thing about it was just, so these are all fairly original, with the exception of what you're seeing here, where it's just, a Flash animation fighting game of a cartoon. But then there were the spin-offs where people made their own things. This is the one Baggins brought up. Portal Flash version.
Okay, this one is really interesting. for me
Yeah.
because I came across this one before I actually ever heard of Portal.
Really?
I don't think
Wow.
I've even
This was your
heard of this.
introduction.
Wait, how had you not heard of Portal?
I just hadn't,
Because
but I saw
This came out before the game came out.
That must be why.
Oh no!
But like, I hadn't.
I think I do remember seeing
Remember,
this.
I wasn't all about Valve at the time. Like, I never got into Team Fortress. I never, and so this, like, I saw this one and I was absolutely fascinated. And so I think I played through the whole thing like 3 or 4 times, and then I found out, oh, this is an actual game. Like there's a bigger game. There's a first person version of this. What in the world? And but it's just it's absolutely brilliant, because it's Portal, but very, very easily accessible.
No, this was a well-made game.
Oh, it's brilliant.
No,
Like, because yes, they just based it on a game that already existed, but they did a good job with it.
Well, it's almost makes you wonder. Like, gosh, did someone like get a job because of this? Yeah, I hope so.
Mhm.
Well, it's interesting because you wouldn't think that you could transfer a 3D series like Portal that well into 2D. They'd just be too simplistic. But it works. And I think if I remember correctly, yes, this next level, it's 100% just based on the trailer, where you have spikes coming down over a pit. I just remember being fascinated by this. Just because I'd never seen something like this before.
Mhm.
And yeah, like you said, it was actually
Very good.
yeah, it was a fun playthrough. And there's speed runs of it apparently.
Of course there are. There's speedruns of everything.
Yeah, every time I think that we'd be done, it's like, nope, there's another speed run.
Any percentage.
Yep. But no, the other thing that is interesting about this in particular is just the fact that as you're going through it, it's like, okay, what you have to make some allowances, right? And it's like, nah, it really kind of just follows all the rules. They have a few more like time sensitive things than Portal normally has, but
Well, like in this one, they have walls that you're able to shoot through, which I don't remember from Portal.
No, they didn't let you shoot through. There were places you could walk through, but you couldn't shoot through in the 3D one. So that is one difference. But still, this is a really, well done to the concept.
yeah. Doesn't quite have quite the same physicality that comes with a Valve game because it's made by
and
Valve.
Of course, it also doesn't have GLaDOS.
Yes, and that's the part no one was ready for.
Well, GLaDOS is really what made the 3D game pop.
Oh, absolutely.
Because that's the reason why just about everyone I knew, like when the game came out, I was in the middle of class, and the person next to me had just finished downloading it the day it came out, and he's like, "Dude, you got to listen to this." And
Listen to the song.
And he just sticks an earbud in my ear, and I start hearing GLaDOS talking.
I'm glad he didn't put it anywhere else.
Well, and for years, people were reminding us that the cake was in fact a lie.
Yes, well, for years, still to this day.
So delicious and moist.
Has it been years?
XKCD was correct about that.
Correct that what?
That people
About people who were discovering old memes and
Constantly rediscovering, yes.
Just constant.
well, because
constantly
the
rediscovering
concept
old
was
memes.
I never buy I always wait 3 years to buy a game. That way I always get the games at discount and there's no and I always get a good game because everyone's always played it and there's no downside to it. And the person responds, I can think of one downside to it. And then it's like 3 years later, guys, the cake is a lie. This is a triumph. It's just
Actually, Jim Gaffigan has that bit too about movies. It's a pretty good one. But yeah, no, I have encountered that because I don't know, something about over-leveling means you often don't get around to playing games until way after it's been out.
What? No. We're always hipping with it. Right? We are hipping with it, aren't we?
I've never been hip with it.
Oh my goodness.
What are my hips?
We tucked
with?
an onion around our belt, which was the style at the time.
I used to be hip. I used to be with it. Then they changed what it was. Now what I'm with isn't it. And what is it is strange and foreign to me. It'll happen to you.
It'll happen to you.
The truest thing
No
ever.
way, man.
Nice use of the quote.
It's the truest thing the Simpsons have ever said.
It's true.
No. All right. So there was another game that I became obsessed with in the Flash game, mostly because unlike a lot of other Flash games, this one you could sort of pre-download and I could play it on my laptop on the bus. And that was Desktop Tower Defense.
Oh yes.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I don't
And
think I ever saw this one.
Of all things, my dad got really into
maybe
this
I
particular one.
I wonder if this was like the origin of most desktop or most tower defense.
I believe it was because it codified a couple things. One,
Like it's a whole genre now, but yeah.
yeah, but the different waves of things and the upgradable towers. And so this, I don't know, I really enjoyed this, but this wasn't the tower defense game I became obsessed with.
Yeah, the original tower defense game was probably Rampart
I don't even know what that is.
Technically,
on the NES.
I have never heard
wasn't
of
that an
this.
arcade game first?
Are you thinking Rampage?
No, I'm thinking Rampart because it was on the
Okay.
Midway Arcade Classics.
Maybe it was originally an arcade, but
Yeah,
I
I'm not-
remember it being on the NES.
I'm not familiar with that at all.
Anyway, the
I've
interesting
never
thing
heard
about
Rampart outside of the Star Spangled Banner, but
the interesting thing about this tower defense game in particular was that, unlike most others that would follow, you actually had that open square field that your turrets formed the maze for.
Well, I've seen plenty of other games where your turrets form the maze, but I've usually seen there's only a grid that you have to stick to, as opposed to... I mean, this one, there is a grid, but you still can offset it by one, which is different. That's
Yeah.
interesting. I've never seen this before, actually.
So there was another, the one that I became obsessed with is Bubble Tank's tower defense. Now this person, the video you're going to see here, this person speeds it up, but the wrinkle they added was you could combine your towers. And so we'll see that in a second. And so as you got a block of 4 towers, like in a 2x2 set, if you upgraded them up all the way, you could choose to spend all your money, not all your money, but a large chunk of your money for the purpose of making a super tower that had all the traits of the 4 towers that you put together. And I became
Interesting.
I became obsessed with this, and I became re-obsessed with this last year when I found out that I think it's called Ruffle. I can't remember what the Flash emulator is. Made it come back, and I was obsessed. And I started playing this game way too much, and I discovered there's a mode called FML mode.
Wow.
And I was like, what is this? I play it. And basically at a
Full
certain
Metal or something.
No.
my life
No.
or the last 2 parts of
I
that.
don't know, Full Metal.
Yeah, that's not what it meant. But basically a random block would just spawn in a random location every couple of seconds to just make trying to build your maze very difficult. Because you can't fully block off the bad guys. And so if you get a bad location, you're suddenly scrambling, having to reorient your entire maze to adapt to it. And I don't know what it is about this one in particular, but I love Bubble Tank's tower defense. Which is funny
See-
because this wasn't their main game.
The main tower defense game that I got into was Bloons, and it was like Bloons 5 or
Bloons.
something.
So many people
Which
got into
They
Bloons.
made that's one where it started off as Flash, and it's
Yeah,
made
the
full
first
jump.
Balloons was Flash,
Uh-huh.
and now it's its own Steam game on Steam.
My son, Balloons TD6 are inseparable.
Yep, my son too.
I mean, it's got monkeys throwing darts. What more do you want?
Exactly.
And
Well,
lore, apparently.
a monkey knife fight.
It even has a super monkey.
It does have a super monkey, and
I forgot about the super monkey.
which they even have one where you can sacrifice to ancient like Aztec monkey gods to make a super dark monkey.
Apparently, there's a lot more lore to Bloons tower defense than I realized.
Yeah.
Like that's a whole thing.
I'm learning so much.
Well, and all the boss blimps, all the kids are playing. I'm like, do you know what that what that name is referring to? Because they had Moab.
Oh yeah, I got the Moab.
It's just kids are playing these games and they don't even catch what half of the references to it are.
It's not their job.
Yes, it's a town in southern Utah.
Hmm.
And the mother of all bombs.
But it's brilliant. I don't know. It's a simple, like, I don't like balloons as much just because I like the aspect of building your own maze.
Oh yeah, and the BFB.
The BFB.
Well, they say
Like the
according
most,
to
I mean-
balloons, it's the brutal floating behemoth.
Oh, you were back on balloons. That makes more sense. No, it's just tower defense games I think are so perfect for Flash.
No, they certainly are a good fit.
Well, they're also, I mean, tower defense games basically spawned the MOBA.
Kind of, yeah.
No, I mean, like, they did literally evolved into MOBAs.
Well, I thought it was MOBAs came from Warcraft 3.
Well,
Right, and a lot of people used Warcraft 3 to create tower defense games and then evolved it into
fair
MOBA.
enough.
Yeah, that is something I didn't really, until you said it, I didn't really make the connection that it was all the modding community messing around with it that created the genre.
That's really where it came. Like, I mean, Rampart was probably the first one that came out, but where they really exploded was in these map editors for Warcraft 3, StarCraft, Age of Empires 2. And so they were doing tower defense games, but then eventually that evolved into MOBAs. To Dota and League of Legends, etc.
Yeah, I never really thought about the through line of that, but yeah, no, that's a really good point. No, but the funny thing about Bubble Tank's tower defense is this wasn't their main game. This is the game that I knew them for. No, their main game was Bubble Tanks.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Robot Rally.
No, that's a different thing. Did you know that Richard Garfield made Robo Rally?
Here we go.
Oh boy.
Or made Magic the Gathering? So that...
But now he's made a couple of games with Ken Jennings of Jeopardy fame.
That's true.
And Brandon Sanderson's former roommate.
It's so weird. Anyway, but yeah, so this is just it's a simple game where you're just it's very what's the word I'm looking for?
What's it called? Asteroids?
Yeah, it's asteroids, but as you destroy things, you get experience and level up, and you can choose to upgrade different parts of your bubble ship.
It just makes me think of Spore, actually.
It makes me, or Fishy.
Or Osmos.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Osmos. Was that a Flash game? It seems like it would be.
No. Osmos was on Steam. It was
Man, it sure plays like one.
I guess I got Osmos from a Humble Bundle. That was one that you could get on the phone or on Steam.
But yeah, if you got a level, you could level up and you could start to customize your ship.
Man.
But I only knew it for the tower defense at the start.
Though, I mean, this is a good demonstration of how simplistic you can make graphics and still have it look good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and just how it's all about gameplay. Like, if the gameplay loop is satisfying, everything else is the cherry on top. But it's got to be fun to play to start. And I like the idea this thing has of the various arenas, so that it doesn't have to load them all at the same time. But as you move out of a bubble, it's like, all right, move into the next one, but it's already probably preloaded the contiguous bubbles. I think it's clever. I just think it's neat. Oh dear, who put this here?
I did. This is the most addictive Flash game of all.
Oh, Cookie Clicker. Oh, man.
Carpal tunnel clicker.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is one that, I don't know, I probably spent too much time. Like you kind of get into it. The thing that's silly is it as far as like simplistic games go, it is about as simple as you can get. But it's almost when you think about it, it's kind of like the first automation game. You know,
I
Kinda
I never understood why anyone played this thing. I don't get it.
because I mean obviously it's not as complex or satisfying as Factorio Satisfactory, but the whole
Not satisfactory.
you start by you have to manually click, but then you can buy things that click for you, and it's just kind of you build up this automation of it, working for you. Granted,
I've played other games like this.
but this one, like the lore gets kind of crazy because you hire grandmas to bake cookies, which I thought was a kind of a funny joke. But then as you start introducing aliens, you get like aliens helping make you cookies, but then like the grandmas turn into alien grandmas, and things
Do you
just start
want an
getting really
XCOM?
weird.
Because this is how you get an XCOM.
Yes, you get thin men that come and help you make cookies in this game.
Then you get a commander in a sweater vest.
But I don't know. This game was oddly addicting, and I don't know. It's just very simple, and there's lots of games like it now. Because I know one I see Lizzie playing all the time. It's Pokemon Clicker. So it's take the kind of concept of cookie clicker, but you're catching Pokemon instead.
Yeah, I did like Monster Clicker and what was it? Adventure Capital.
Hadn't heard those ones, but
Don't play them.
Venture Capital. That sounds familiar.
Adventure
They're the
Capitalist.
same
yeah.
sort of thing. It's just Adventure Capitalist. That's what it is.
But this one's funny. Just your currency is cookies. It's silly. It's ridiculous, but just the constantly upgrading, constantly automating, just to get more and more cookies.
Yeah, and in the end, it's just one of those. Oh, this is an utter time waster.
It's another time waster, but it also gets crazy at the end too, because like they put a lot of involvement to it. Like with as soon as all the space things started happening, because then everything just gets weird, and I don't know.
I just remember playing.
well
a
done.
game. Yeah, I just remember playing a game like this, and after a while, I was just like, I've wasted like 10 hours of my life on this game, and I really have gained nothing. This is the most like. I remember growing up and having people always tell me video games are going to rot your brain and you're not going to get it. And I was like, oh, this is what they're talking about.
I get it now.
The other thing that I found interesting about this game was it was one of the Flash games that actually could save your file because it used cookies to save your files.
Right.
Because the cookie you got with this game was your save file, so you could return to your earlier point.
That's good enough for me.
Good reference.
Good enough for me.
Yeah, Bubble Tank's Tower Defense did that as well.
But this one's more on the nose, being a game about cookies.
Indeed. Because it wasn't about bubbles at all. It's about cookies. All right, let's see. Where was the other one? Oh, I believe you wanted to talk about this one, Pirate.
So you want to talk about some edgy type
Yes.
games? This was definitely up there. I mean, this was like this is like the era of the Matrix. Like over the top violence. This just like I don't know, man.
The Stick Wars.
Yes, Stickman and all that kind of stuff.
Stickman Wars, yeah.
But like this, like it's really basic gameplay, but just like the variety of weapons that you end up getting, and just like the sheer number of enemies, like it. I played this one a lot. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I'm trying. Like, I remember this art style more than I remember the game.
Yeah, because I think there were videos first, and this game came after they'd made a few of them. But I never really watched the videos because like this is way more interesting because I get to actually control stuff.
Oh, this takes me back. I'd forgotten about this.
Yeah, you'd just be so annoyed sometimes, and someone would kill you, and you're just like, "Come on, man!"
I will admit the animation on this is better than you'd expect it to be.
That's the thing. Yeah, like it just plays well. It looks pretty decent. I mean, it's really simple. I mean, floating hands too. Like not a whole lot. I do
yeah.
remember the frame rate tanking when they had lots of people on the screen.
Well, it's not like the internet was built for that style. No, this is. The other thing is going for the black and white is also like that's a choice and it works.
Yeah, I don't remember this one at all.
No, not at all.
Yeah, it was on Newgrounds. It was like always one of the top ones.
Moderately horrifying.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's edgy. It's not simple bubbles. Like there's blood.
No, it is not.
Well, and again, that's one of the weird things about Flash games is like they covered all kinds.
Yes, they did. No, like the edginess I love just because again, it was the people making this were in their teens most likely. But like tend to be on the older end of the teen spectrum cuz they're moving past just watching stuff. They're now making it. And what was interesting was because of that you would get these things that have to be simple by their very nature. Like, look at the animation for this. It's not complicated. Yet they would get creatively violent with it. Like, again, like animation versus animator and those type of things.
Oh, those were great. Animation versus animator was brilliant. So I just added one to the playlist. I don't know.
Yes,
I forgot about this.
Tuber Tros. Oh my goodness.
This was brilliant. So they basically took the original Super Mario Brothers and then they added in a cast of like
everything.
All of the big and let them play through the exact same levels using their own abilities. It was utter madness, but it was so cool.
Oh, this is the sequel to Tuber Tros.
Yeah, no, this is Super Mario Bros. Crossover.
Oh,
and they were.
I don't know if I'm trying to think. Did I play this one or just the one with Tetris though? Because there was one that was just Mario and Tetris, but then they made one with all of them. I'm not sure if I played this one. This has way more than I remember ever seeing.
They kept updating this game.
Holy cow! Wow.
This actually, I remember playing
because I do remember Link and Contra, but I don't remember Blaster Master being.
Yeah, I remember I hadn't played for a while, and I went back and they'd added like 6 or 7 additional games. I was just like, "This is unbelievable."
Was this the first game you played where there were regular updates?
What do you mean?
Like, video games back then weren't getting regular updates.
Well, I mean, this is like it wasn't one I was even thinking about as as getting an update. I was like, oh, this is a game that somebody had just put on the website, put online, and I was like, I don't even remember how I found this.
Magic.
This does remind me of I mean, it just kind of speaks to the kind of games that I played. But there was a version of Super Mario World, I think, but they gave him a shotgun.
Super Mario Shotgun, I think, is what it was called.
Was that what it was called? I don't remember what it was called, but it was also bloody because you'd shoot the Koopas and they would bleed and die.
But it was, the thing that was great is that the enemies would respond in the same way as they would in the native game of the character.
Super Mario Rampage.
Oh, I think that's what it was called. Yes,
that is. Yep. I
remember
that. Yep,
wow,
you're right.
It's like it's one of those things. I'm hearing it. I'm like, we're close. I know we're close. What was it?
I remember when I first played this game, though. Somebody started playing it, and I was like, "What is happening? What's happening right now?"
Oh my gosh! Just
Oh no, Mario Rampage was nuts.
yeah. Boy,
This
I
was
played
so
this one
disturbing.
quite a bit too.
And being disturbing is definitely a feature, not a bug.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh no, why do they bleed? Why do they bleed?
Yeah, they bleed profusely.
All right, let's go back. Let's go back to the crossover one. That was
Yeah, the little less.
that was something about the crossover games was how much certain movesets you're like, wow, this doesn't work at all inside a Mario level.
Oh wow, I didn't realize they added like map tiles and stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot more to this than I think I ever.
Because like this is
experienced.
a Zelda 2 tile set.
Oh yeah, that totally is.
Well, like this jump right here is actually kind of difficult for non-Mario characters.
It's absolutely fascinating the way it works.
And it's
Like this, yeah, this is even more updated than I remember it being because I don't remember the additional tile sets.
Maybe they just kept updating it.
And it's this mindset of like people would get fully blown away by the things people have been able to do with actual like ROM edit tools nowadays.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it's the kind of thing, the only reason I see far is because I stand on the shoulders of giants.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But like Ninja Gaiden running through Mario levels, what in the world? How did we get here? But it's great. Like instead of going up a pipe, he climbs up a wall. It's such a brilliant concept, and they really went for it.
And that's the other thing is just this is definitely the type like you look at this and you say to yourself, who would want this? Like, but I think a game company would look at this and be like, who would want this? And now Mario Maker's an entire thing.
Well, the other thing is like a lot of times the answer is no one would want it from you. We want it from just the random fan. And
they may not want to pay for it.
Fair enough.
Well,
Mario, and that's the other reason you don't want it from the gaming companies because they'll try and find a way to monetize it.
Because they have to.
Mm-hmm.
But
when it's a passion project, it's just like, okay, this is brilliant. I'm amazed that somebody did this.
Yeah, it's just basically a flex for some of these people.
Whoa! They added sprites from the new games on the Switch.
Tetris. It's quite elaborate.
Tetris sprites for it, huh? Wow.
Huh.
Well, but again, passion project games like this are amazing. I remember there's actually a game for, if you've ever seen the show Community, somebody actually made, what is it? Something of Castle Hawthorne.
Hawthorne.
Yeah, Castle Hawthorne.
Or they actually made a game.
Oh, it exists, and it is intense.
I also can't believe they made it because the game had some spicy stuff in it.
Yeah, it was not the most politically correct.
Well, you know what? Now that you mention it, sometimes companies do actually make a game kind of like that. Like, I remember Disney made the Wreck-It Ralph into an actual arcade cabinet.
Oh, that's right. They did do that.
And it was free to play online. It was actually, pretty fun, and it was true to the movie.
So but it's Wreck-It Ralph. A very simple game. This is not simple.
No, it's very involved.
Now, there is something here that is very simple.
Yes. Let it begin.
Baggins, why don't you explain what we're looking at here?
What are we looking at?
So this is Super Press Space to Win Adventure.
I played it first.
I did too.
It was good. It's
a game with a story, and all you do is push space, and it advances the story. But because of the way it's built, it actually feels like you're doing all the actions. It's really weird. but it's just fun.
Press
I mean,
spacebar to attack.
I mean, some people kind of say it's kind of a satire of video games where it's like you're just pushing buttons and that's all you do. But at the same time, it's like just the way you set up everything around it is kind of what makes the game. So even if something is just like watching a movie or playing a book, just having a simple needing to press the space button just does make that more involved.
It's a love letter to an old genre of games that I loved growing up. And it's basically a way to tell the story and make it feel interactive without actually building a game. It's just sort of a, hey, remember this? We can remember it together.
Oh, he bought the potion.
But what if you don't want to buy the potion?
Ocean seller.
But yeah, this is, I don't know, this is the type, like this blends the, it's a visual novel essentially, but I don't know, it just has the feel of it, and it won the daily third prize on Newgrounds.
The other thing is it actually has like voice acting and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, it does.
But that's what I want to end on.
Oh, not Robot Unicorn Attack?
Oh my goodness. Wait, did you? I forgot about Robot Unicorn Attack.
That's for me, that was the last gasp of Flash games was Robot Unicorn Attack. Because I think it came out like 2009?
It was when wasn't it when you were rooming with us?
No.
It was close to that time.
Or was that Robot Unicorn Attack 2?
There was a sequel, yeah. But I'm just thinking of the original. Just the song. Honestly, the song slaps
by
so
Erasure.
hard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's no way that was allowed.
Yeah, my sisters actually loved Erasure when I was a kid. So.
No,
I remember this got big. I don't think I ever played it, but everyone talked about it.
All I know was someone got in trouble in the physics department at BYU because of this game.
Yeah, that's why I knew about it. That's how I found out about it, actually.
Because
how I found out about this game.
Because someone
I vaguely remember. Sorry.
It was just word of mouth, but like everyone talked about this.
The thing that happened was someone at the BYU website, they made it so they loaded this into the website kernel essentially.
Oh.
And if you typed in the Konami code on the website, you could start playing it.
That's right.
And it went insane viral, and it was crashing the physics department website, that people use to actually turn in homework and report grades.
Okay, so that was the full story, because that's the only reason why I knew about it, because like there was this big kerfuffle,
big controversy on the site. I'd forgotten about all that, but that's even more funny now.
It was a big deal in my department because we don't know who, but I know the room where someone got in trouble. It's only one of two guys because there was only two people who were in charge of the website.
Yeah, I mean, like, oh boy, that was still early days, or internet operations was not centralized in an IT department.
No, definitely.
If I remember right, this was, I think, either it was or it was the people that would go on to be Adult Swim games.
I believe this was Adult Swim.
I remember seeing advertisements on like late night, Cartoon Network, which turned into Adult Swim for this all the time.
No, look, is this just a precursor to Bit Trip Runner? Yes, 100%. But
a little different, but yeah.
I just mean like that's how the gameplay feels, where it's like you're just moving along and you're just you have one or two things that you do, but due to the gameplay loop, it's incredibly satisfying for some reason.
So apparently there are still iOS games following this, but Robot Unicorn Attack is not them. It's Unicorn Dash and other stuff like that. So,
of course,
well, and that's kind of where Flash
Endless
games
Runners
went
in general.
Well, that's the thing. It's like we're talking about Flash in the past. Even though Flash, is gone, it's kids still find ways to make games like this. Like my kids spend a lot of time making on Scratch. Like MIT made the Scratch programming language to make it easier for kids to develop, basically Flash sort of games.
Well, and mobile games, a lot of mobile games kind of follow the same design style, where it's just like this cheap little game that is meant to steal your time.
Very similar to our episode about It's There.
Mm-hmm.
But the games are getting more involved. But yeah, and this is why the title of today's episode is The Rise, the Fall, and the Rise again of Flash games, because whilst the Flash era is, even with stuff like Newgrounds is still around, still publishing, people are still making stuff for that website. It's just the culture around it has sort of has not even disappeared. I'm more bifurcated.
now
it's in
it's
multiple
retro.
places. Yeah.
Well, and it's also kind of stratified by age as well, because like the younger ones are the ones on Scratch, for example.
Yeah. But the whole point being that the spirit of it is still there. And
Yeah.
I like that it's still there because it's scrappy. It's like were these games edgy? Like, yeah, Super Mario Rampage exists. Was it still needlessly corporate? Yeah, you had things like the Teen Titans game on the website. But at the same time, the spirit of things like all this other stuff, it still exists.
I'm sure many developers cut their teeth on little things like this too.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, in indies, very much.
yeah.
I think a lot of indie developers got their start here doing stuff like this.
So, Stinko Man 20XD6. I promised Breakfast I would talk about this because there's a fun little thing about this. So, I never actually played this myself, but my understanding is Stinko Man 20XD6 has like 9 levels.
And they're hard.
Yeah, they're hard.
Man, I didn't even know they actually made a game of this. That's
Oh
awesome.
yeah, years ago.
Oh yeah.
Do you guys know the fun little fact?
The singular fun little fact.
Yeah, so
No, I guess not.
there was supposed to be a final level. They never released it.
Mhm.
They finally did release
Yes,
it the day before Flash
I remember.
was being taken down.
The last gasp.
man.
Oh, I maybe saw an article about it because
I remember talking to Breakfast about it when it happened.
Which is very the Brothers Chaps.
Oh, it's 100% the Brothers Chaps.
The Brothers Chaps?
They're the ones who made Homestar Runner.
Oh, okay.
Chapman was their last name.
Got
And
it.
their what's the persona name was the Brothers Chaps.
Okay.
Persona.
I should have never said that word around you.
Oh, I know Looney was thinking it.
I wasn't, but now that you say it, I should have been thinking it.
I wasn't.
Well-
and, I should have known better.
Of course, the question is, how edgy are you getting with that? Because if you've played 3, 4, and 5, it depends. Edginess depends on the game.
I just finished Reload earlier this year, or last
Oh,
year.
so maximum edgelord then.
Yes,
For you.
maximum.
Yeah.
So in 5, they rip off a mask.
But how do you pull the trigger with boxing gloves on your hands?
He fires it from his fists.
Yeah, those are punches. Never estimate that I have more punches.
I said consummate V's.
That's not even the right genre.
Don't worry about it. Anyway, I want to end with this. I'm actually going to turn on the sound.
Turn up your volume because
This is some
Yes.
of you haven't watched ... and frankly, it shows. I've noticed.
I'm not
this
sure.
is we
Yes,
were talking
yes,
about
you
it.
did.
This entirely.
We were
Wait,
talking
who
about
hasn't
Super-
seen it?
I might not have. I can't think of
You
it.
100% have. You
Don't
I
lie
even
to
know
us.
what this
can't
is.
remember it then right now. Not by the name
you-
alone.
So
I
this
know
is
you've seen
this is in regards to Super Push Space to Win Adventure. whatever
So-
it's called.
Because that's the thing about Newgrounds is you could leave reviews, and then people could make
Iterate
comment,
upon the-
iterate upon your reviews, which led to this.
about 3 or 4 levels deep.
Let's see, I need to turn this down. Yes, it's too loud. About a review. Man, I hope I don't get copyright claimed for this. ...
A review by Axeman13. Date February 3rd, 2010. Score 1. I really don't want to say this.
No, I have not
but I
seen
have
this.
to now. This game is so essy. I mean, all you do is hit the space bar. That's it. How is this an RPG anyway? You can't control anything but what it says on the screen. What if I didn't want to buy the potion? What about quests? All you can upgrade is strength. There is no way you can lose to the boss at the end. This game is crap. It's not even an RPG at all. I mean, look at it! In what way is this supposed to be an RPG if you can do quests and stuff? All you do is press 1 button the entire time. Explain to me.
Explain to me!
Oh, this is like the great style of dramatic readings from YTM&D is what this really
Exactly.
harkens back.
I don't
was-
even know how this
I
damn
was thinking like
game
dramatic readings of like Quora answers.
Oh, sure. Yahoo Answers, all that kind of stuff.
Okay, wait for it.
People think this review is worthless. Go ahead! I don't care! I'm just trying to make a point here. Blam this piece of crap!
Wait for it.
Wait.
P.S. The only reason I'm giving this a 1 is because the voices were pretty good. But that's it.
That's where that line comes from.
Biakuas.
Cool.
So yeah, so you were talking about the
I-
dramatic readings. Somebody did a dramatic reading, and then somebody
Wow.
took that dramatic reading and made a flash
I made
animation.
this animation. No, that's.
Have you seriously never seen that?
I have not seen
I
this.
swear.
I could have
it's
sworn I
Rivendell.
talked to you about it. Yeah.
It said 2010, so I mean, honestly, it was already a little late for my delving into this kind of stuff.
No,
so
but I
don't know.
swear Baggins showed this to us at Rivendell.
Yeah.
I swear it was there.
You maybe showed it, but maybe it wasn't to me.
No, we definitely did. I'm blaming
There's
you.
no way we didn't throw it.
Blam! This piece of crap.
Blam. I think that's new. This is new. This is fun.
Yeah.
The cake's a lie. The cake's a lie. It's, guys.
You know what? I'm just thinking, the Flash animator makes the joke Axeman 13 years old.
Uh-huh.
That'd make him 28 now.
Oh yeah, full adult. But first of all, a review by Axeman 13.
It's just the narration is perfect.
Yes.
Oh yeah, no, this is definitely the same people that
Great.
made How Is Babby Formed.
Yes. Great dramatic reading and
These
the
be
animation.
akuas.
Just chef's kiss.
I just love Biakuas.
Yeah,
The reason this came up was because one time I was streaming and I saw someone mistype because, which is an easy word to mistype.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yep.
And so as soon as I saw it, I just go Biakuas. Like I'm just giggling to myself. And it was clear my much younger audience was just like,
No idea.
Right.
like, I mean, that's not how they misspelled it though. And I'm like, wait, do you guys not know ... Like, they're just sitting there and there's, what are you talking about? Like they think I'm having a stroke. And I'm
That's
just
right.
like,
didn't I have to run and find the link and post it and share
yes.
it?
Yeah. Cause I'm just
Yeah.
like,
Well,
Baggins, are
you
you
know,
here?
I'm glad you shared because this is.
It's
I don't think-
magnificent.
It was not a thing that I had shared with you.
The
I
other,
was underleveled for this.
My goodness.
And 10.
Oh wait, no, I just need it to freeze. X-Men 13, where is it? That's it. Just the constant
trail.
Well, and the
what about
the
quest?
animation.
What, you can only upgrade strength?
Strength.
Like seriously, this is like professional level. This was
It's
pretty
truly
pretty
amazing.
great.
No, this is one of the this is classic internet.
But like somebody made a Flash game, and then somebody commented on that Flash game, and then somebody did a dramatic reading of that comment on that Flash game, and then somebody did an animation of the dramatic reading of the comment of that Flash game.
Well, and that's the thing. It's the perfect like refining of a meme.
Yes, I mean, I was about to say this is the epitome of what
Iteration.
a meme is, an iterative meme.
Yes.
Memes today are very lazy compared to this.
Mimetic mutation. Like I feel like that trope page gets not used enough anymore.
Well, I'll say I actually think memes mutate a lot more now than they used to.
They certainly do. I mean, like
It's just
the iteration time is quick,
population
but the depth.
Well, and the effort and the effort is low, the depth is low. You know, memes are very shallow compared to this.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't take a whole lot to do it now. You know,
like that's the thing. It's like in order to make this required a whole level of expertise.
This took time. Yes.
Yeah. Whereas most things now, it's like they've got image template generators and
let me slap some impact font on there, and okay.
Like you could, people have made it so that you can get things out a lot quicker. And there's still like people are doing artwork, people are doing videos. Like it's also, I feel like because of the nature of the internet, because I just think like everyone's siloed in their own thing, and there's more
Very
silos.
so.
There's more silos than there were back then.
There's too much. There's too much out there. I mean, Newgrounds, in 2004 or whatever. I mean, that was all there was.
Yeah, I mean that was the thing is.
I don't know. There was a bit more than that. I didn't go to
There was a bit more, but like it's not like today, right? I mean, it's like when you only had 3 channels to watch on TV. That was kind of how things were back then.
That's how the internet felt to me anyway. It's like, let's go see what's on YTMND.
Mm-hmm.
Then, well, nothing there. Let's go see what's in Newgrounds.
Either that or you'd find a specific creator.
Let me see what YTMND's Petrivka sent to me.
Yeah, exactly. Let me change that. Yeah. What did Stumble Upon give to Petrivka?
Curator for some of these things.
No, and I appreciated that service. It was a great service. I didn't want to go through all the sludge. I had you for that.
Yes, I had to dig through the dross to find the true gems.
Stumble Upon. I haven't thought about that in decades.
Man, Stumble Upon was so that wow, yeah.
Does it not exist anymore?
Dude, algorithms have completely taken that over.
Yeah, it's kind of
now it's like shoved down your throat whether you want it or not.
That's why I asked if Stumble Upon still exists, because I actually think that would be more useful now.
I don't think it's around.
Yeah, I actually agree on that. Because kind of the whole like, no, I don't want an AI thinks I want. I just kind of want to find something random.
Well, that's the part that sucks. Is it's not what an AI thinks I want. It's what an AI thinks I should want.
It's what a company wants their AI to think you should want.
Yes.
But they're not that good at programming, so it doesn't do that. And instead it's like, hey, you know that video you liked 18 years ago? And you're just like, not really, but let's check it out. And it's like, yeah, I don't remember this. And then other times it's Propane Nightmares.
That's it's like on Homestar. That was a real popular song. Let's listen to it 50 times more.
Yeah, that hits me where I live, though.
No, I don't know. Some of these AIs are actually pretty scary good. Like Amazon, they're like, hey, did you know this video game exists? I'm like, no, but I'm intrigued now, dang it.
Oh, Kickstarter's pretty rough too.
What's really fun, since me and Baggins live with each other, is whenever I find a video that I can tell is 100% the algorithm trying to look at what he searches and what I search, and it finds the perfect Venn diagram of what it is.
It's like, well, I mean, there it is.
What was there was one I recently, not recent, it was probably a couple months ago I sent to you, but it was like, it was something food related, but also like video game related. I don't know, it was something where it combined
I'll look through.
It combined our things, and I'm just like looking through and I'm like, huh, there it
Video game
is.
Cookie content.
The perfect video that both me and Baggins will enjoy. But then there's other things, like I see something and I'm like, I think this is Baggins' fault that this is my feed.
Oh yeah, I've gotten plenty of those.
The great thing is Christopher gets completely unblamed for anything because he doesn't talk to us, so we don't know what his search history is. He's getting off scot-free. I bet a lot's his fault. Anyway. But yeah, everyone needed to see that. It's important. This is like people, history's going to look back on ... very kindly. It's important. All right. Flash is awesome, and its spirit still lives on and will live on forever.
Good times.
All right, let's promote our crap. Mithril, how about you start us off?
Sure. YouTube.com/MithralZenith. I do mostly game design related videos, a lot of Fire Emblem content. I've started a new series where I'm going through every map of a particular game, one video per map, and like breaking down the design of like, hey, when they put this fort here, it helps naturally guide the player to do this and that and whatnot. And it's interesting because
also fully from the game design perspective.
Yeah, from the game design standpoint. And it's interesting because these are games that have been remade a couple times, so I'm able to cross-compare between the different remakes of like, well, in this version it's this, in that version they changed the amount of gold you get here, why did they do that, stuff like that.
Nice. All right, Baggins is.
The Sandersonian Institute of Cosmere Studies. It's a podcast that I make with Jordan and our other friend Amy. We're talking about Brandon Sanderson's Cosmere. We just did an episode where we talked about a lot of the prophecies that show up in the Stormlight Archive and kind of how they apply to things in the context of having read the latest book that came out, Wind and Truth. So you should check that out. It's over at youtube.com/Cosmere Studies, or you can search for Cosmere Studies on any podcast provider, and we're very most likely on it.
All right. Petrivka?
Nothing for me.
All right.
Just happy to be here.
We're happy you're here too. Lunasar.
I will promote Lizzie and her shiny hunting goodness in Pokemon. She's made quite the progress in catching shinies, and recently she had a stream where she's like, all right, this is the last one I'm going to check, and then I'll call it quits, and it was that one, if I'm not mistaken, or pretty close to the end. But, yeah, you could see the excitement of catching a shiny, or possibly learn tips and tricks on how to catch shinies. And that's on Lizzie Petrichor on Twitch.
All right. And then you can find me, twitch.tv/splicestream. I finally have the final round done. I just got to finish up making the music and the sound effect parts of the quiz, and then I will be ready. So it's looking very good for Saturday for us to do another round of Quizzard. Would definitely like some people to be there to help me test out the final round, because I have theories on how well it will go, but we need to see how that actually works out.
Indeed. Ah, gosh, guys, I think we overleveled.